Junkies!
Cowboy Bebop live action was canceled.
Cassidius said he had to leave.
Cassidius got to leave.
He's got to leave.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, we gotta wave. We gotta wave. Come on,
back.
Right.
That?
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
We're back in the chat, and your gift will be coming to you soon.
Yes. So Cowboy Bebop live action has been canceled. We do not get to see season 2 of how they were going to move the story forward. Is met with a lot of joyous cheers from a lot of detractors. And some of the people that did kind of not mind the show, like me and like Dido.
I liked it.
I liked
it.
And
Amarak liked it too. Yeah. So we were kind of a little disappointed that it did get canceled. But let's talk about, the reasons why it possibly got canceled, and also, kind of what it means for other anime films in general. Because let's be honest. They're not going to stop making live-action anime projects. They're not.
Yeah, you already got One Piece loaded up. Yu Yu Hakusho is getting...
XXX Holic is getting a live-action show.
I've never seen that show.
Gundam is coming from Netflix as well.
Gundam,
so, dude, it's not going to stop.
I just have a fear that none of them are going to get a chance because Cowboy Bebop was hated before it even came out.
Yeah.
That's
people
a good point. Speak on
way
that.
More.
Speak on that, Amarat.
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
No, dude, I lost a friend almost over this. Just trying to say, hey, give the thing a chance. And it was one of those situations where, no anime adaptations have been anything good, so this one's not going to be. So I hate it before it comes out. And I'm like, if everyone's doing that, then it's not going to get a chance. And I actually did the thing where you watch the first episode and the first episode of the anime side by side, and they tried their hardest.
They did.
Yeah, they did. And I think they get a good job. But that's one of the things I like to ask that question about that mentality, because I don't quite understand it. First off, if you're a fan, a so-called fan of something, why wouldn't you give that a try? Like, for example, I know I'm going back to something that I said before. I like sweet and sour chicken. Right? Okay.
With this
look, it's just an example that I can think people can relate to.
Okay.
I have a favorite restaurant, but if I go to another restaurant, I'm going to give theirs a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It may not taste the same.
So
it may not be good, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico now.
Huh?
You're Johnny Depp in Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I mean,
right.
I don't want to kill the chef at my place.
But he would go to different restaurants trying the same thing.
Well, I basically
and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I'd like to understand the mentality of not even wanting to give it a shot if you call yourself a fan. Well, like I said, I was a fan of Cowboy Bebop back in 1998 before a lot of those people were even born, and before a lot of them that were born even saw the show.
Okay, so you feel like
give it a shot.
You feel like it's some sense of ownership or gatekeeping at work here. Amarak, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
No, well, I've gotten from quite a few people that the reason they didn't want to give this one a try / like it or anything like that was because there's no way that as humans we can do the things that you can do in an anime to make an anime adaptation look anything like the anime that they're pulling in, information from.
Very great
and
point.
This Bebop, it felt like they understood that.
Mm-hmm.
No one was flying around all super crazy like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on strings.
Mm-hmm.
None of the ships were over glossy. They didn't like over glorify like space in any way. They gave us enough to see to make sure that what they were giving us looked close enough to what the show had given us, so they could at least say they paid a decent homage to this. And they did it. I don't get it.
Yeah,
well,
I don't get it either.
I think a couple of things at play. Like you said, it's very hard to translate some things from animation to live action. I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of anime fans have the same problem that some comic book fans have when it comes to adapting things from the page to the live screen. If it doesn't look or feel exactly like the original product, they want to dismiss it outright. Not allowing for that. You can't do like the goofy, super deformed, over exaggerated faces and bodily movements in anime
unless you're
in
Jim
live
Carrey.
action. Unless you're what?
Jim Carrey.
Unless you're Jim Carrey, exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody has that talent, right? Like some people didn't want to admit that there were plenty of moments in Cowboy Bebop that were just ridiculously over the top and would just look cringe if someone in live action did it. Like I've challenged everybody that's been a fan of Cowboy Bebop. You personally, I want you to tell me, and Dido, you tell me this because you're one of the biggest Cowboy Bebop fan probably in this roundtable. If you saw someone acting like Ed in live action, would you not think that person was just cringe and weird? You wouldn't want to probably even be associated with someone like that.
I mean, more than likely. I mean, as I may have said before, I didn't think the show was perfect. Cowboy Bebop to me gets like an A+ or an S or a triple S, or you want to call it. It is something that is I will always like whenever I watch it. Blah blah blah. There are some things about the live action show I was not a big fan of. We only saw her portrayal for not even 30 seconds.
Ed.
Yeah, Ed. So we don't really know. I mean, I don't know. When you saw Ed in the anime, she was very kind of like loud, didn't speak in a normal cadence as everybody else. She was, just a lot of stuff that was, and I think that character was trying to portray that because
she was.
Yeah.
I feel like they were. Excuse me.
That
they
actor,
were.
I should say.
They were. But therein lay the problem, right? In animation, when Ed is acting that way, you can forgive it because you're used to it in a cartoon form.
Yeah.
You can forgive that. In live action, you can't forgive that. It looks weird. It looks cringe. You wouldn't want to be around someone like that. And like Fallen Marvel said, the hand-to-hand action wasn't very good. Okay. The hand-to-hand action wasn't very good. Some of the sets and production values. Hey, what do we got there? New follower.
Appreciate the follow. Can't see
Kunio Shiori. That's what I saw. Thank you for the follow. Enter the giveaway for your chance at a Christmas giveaway. Hopefully you win.
Exclamation point giveaway. And then also real quick, Roverback brought up that we all build in our heads what things should be instead of being open-minded.
Yes.
That's definitely usually the problem with a lot of fandoms of anything. But more or less anime and like you said, comic books probably a little bit more prevalent than the others just because there's so much investment in the source material, and then when somebody does an adaptation of what you've been reading for all this time or watching for all this time, it's hard for people to let go of what they expect the show or the movie or whatever to be. And it's just like, look, you got to be realistic. There's certain things, as Amaranka said, if you have said, and I think even a few people in the chat have said, there's certain things you just cannot translate, and they're just never going to translate.
Exactly.
And that's fine. It's like, a lot of people gave Ghost in the Shell a lot of hell because of Scarlett Johansson's casting. I'm like, let's be real. You cast one of the most popular female actresses
in the world
at the time, especially with coming off of Avengers and all that, as the main character. And they even had some real good, close to the anime scenes that they recreated. And it's just like, I thought the movie was fine. Ghost in the Shell in and of itself is a great movie.
It is.
But it ain't really that great of a story. The story is just pretty, whatever.
It has more of philosophical things in it for people to think about.
It's Anime Matrix, basically.
Anime Matrix. That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.